There is a moment, quiet, almost ordinary, when the trap first closes, not with a snap, but with a whisper, a message, a glance, a promise that feels, for the first time, like being truly seen. This is not a story about weakness. It is a study of mechanism. The human brain is wired to seek reward, but it is not the reward itself that creates dependency. It is the uncertainty of its arrival. In controlled studies, subjects exposed to unpredictable rewards press the lever longer, harder, and with greater desperation than those receiving consistent reinforcement. The first reward is not just pleasant. It is transformative. It signals, you are safe. You are valued. You are chosen. Dopamine floods the system, not as a response to pleasure, but to anticipation. The brain learns. Uncertainty is the signal. Then, silence. No message. No validation. No reason. The absence is not neutral. It is a question the brain cannot stop asking. Rational thought begins to disengage. The prefrontal cortex, the seat of judgment, quiets. The limbic system, the seat of craving, takes over. To understand the trap, we must first understand the clockwork inside it. B.F. Skinner discovered it in the 1950s. Pigeons pecked longer, faster, when food arrived unpredictably. The principle is simple. Its application, in human hands, is not. This is the variable ratio schedule. Reward after an unpredictable number of actions. It produces the highest, most persistent response rate of any reinforcement pattern. It is the engine of addiction. Each unpredictable reward triggers a dopamine spike larger than the last. The brain begins to chase not the reward, but the spike itself. Craving is not desire. It is a neurological imperative. The brain prioritizes the pursuit of the unpredictable reward above safety, above logic, above self. Documented cases reveal a consistent pattern, not of malice, necessarily, but of method. The cycle begins with intensity. Attention is abundant. Validation is constant. The target feels chosen, understood, irreplaceable. Then, without explanation, the attention withdraws. Messages go unanswered. Plans are canceled. The silence is not an accident. It is a tool. Cortisol rises. Heart rate increases. The brain interprets the uncertainty as threat and as opportunity. The same system that responds to danger now fuels the pursuit of relief. The reward returns, not because the silence ended, but because the craving peaked. The relief is disproportionate. The lesson is cemented. Endure the silence, and the reward will come. Each cycle strengthens the neural pathway. Endure uncertainty. Receive reward. The behavior is no longer chosen. It is automated. Once the mechanism is established, the stakes change. Compliance is no longer rewarded. It is expected. The intermittent pattern evolves. Now, silence is not just absence. It is punishment. Criticism, withdrawal, or contempt follow perceived noncompliance. The brain holds two incompatible truths. This person is my source of safety, and this person is my source of pain. To resolve the dissonance, the mind alters its perception of reality. Self-doubt becomes the default. Memories are questioned. Perceptions are mistrusted. The external narrative replaces internal certainty. The subject learns to read the signals. Not words, not actions, but the pattern of uncertainty itself. Compliance becomes a navigation tool through an unpredictable emotional landscape. The clockwork does not run without fuel. The fuel is the self. Decision-making atrophies. Preferences are deferred. Boundaries are negotiated away, not through force, but through the exhausting calculus of uncertainty. External relationships fade, not by decree, but by design. The unpredictable reward system consumes cognitive bandwidth. There is no energy left for other connections. Chronic uncertainty is a physiological stressor. Sleep degrades. Immune function dips. The body bears the cost of the brain's endless calculation. In documented cases, subjects describe a moment of clarity, not of escape, but of recognition. The pattern is visible, but visibility does not equal freedom. Understanding the mechanism does not disable it. The neural pathways are already forged. The craving is already automated. Insight becomes another layer of the trap. Escape is possible, but it requires not just will, it requires rewiring. Neuroplasticity works both ways. New pathways can be forged, but only through consistent, predictable reinforcement of a different kind. The antidote to intermittent reinforcement is not more uncertainty. It is consistency, predictable self-validation, reliable boundaries. Reality testing is rebuilt through repetition, not grand gestures. Small, consistent acts of trusting one's own perception. The new mechanism is not about control. It is about alignment. Predictable care for the self replaces unpredictable reward from another. The old pathways do not vanish. They lie dormant. A single unpredictable reward can reactivate the entire cycle. Vigilance is not paranoia. It is maintenance. Recovery is not a solo act. Consistent, predictable community provides the reinforcement the brain was wired to seek, but now, on terms that preserve the self. Integration is not erasure. The experience remains, but its power to dictate behavior is broken. This mechanism is not rare. It is universal. It operates in relationships, in workplaces, in ideologies. To see it is the first step to disarming it. Observe the pattern, not to judge, not to fear, but to understand. The clockwork only controls those who cannot see its gears. The choice is not between reward and punishment. It is between unpredictability and integrity, between the clockwork and the self. This has been the compliance clockwork. Observe the gears.